Hello everyone, I welcome back you all to my YouTube channel, and who are here for the very first time, please subscribe to my YouTube channel before we move forward. Okay, on a lighter note, the topic for today is going to be model governance. Okay, so I have already spoken to you like how the model life cycle works and how the risk model actually totally function. What is probability of default, what is loss given default, and what is EAD. All of those components we have spoken about. So today's focus would be especially on the model governance, okay? Because model governance is very important and it's one of the key metrics which always the bank makes sure that there should be not much challenges there, because that is very important for the regulatory perspective. Bank reports everything to the regulator. Like for example, whatever SBI is doing, they need to report it to the RBI because they need to run as per the guideline of RBI, right? So in the similar fashion, model governance is an activity which every bank does in the model life cycle, and they need to maintain certain type of documents. Everything should be ready in a dashboard way or in reports. So that is going to be today's topic. I am going to answer this question if somebody asks that what is a model governance team does. So I'm going to explain you this quickly. Okay, now without wasting your time, let's move forward. So guys, as I told you that the topic is model governance. So there are two words, right? Number one is your model. So what is a model? Let me explain it to you. So sometime banks need to invest the money in the market, and they are investing the money from us. How? Because we do have, let's say, savings account. So all the money which is there in the savings account for 10 years, let's say, which you put in the bank, so bank is not keeping that for 10 years in the treasury only. So what they are doing, they are simultaneously invest that money to market. That can be any type of investment, okay? And they are lending also money to the big corporates, and they are taking the huge interest from them. Now this money which we gave them, this is making profit here, and out of that profit, okay, out of that profit only, as the interest component, they will give you like 3% and 4%. That is a minimalistic way. And how much they would be earning? They would be earning 20, 30, 40. We cannot even think, okay? That totally depends on the type of investment they are doing. Now, to regulate this whole nature of job, right? To regulate this whole structure, what I just explained, regulation apply on this whole structure. There were so many models which are used. So very popular one are IFRS 9 and Basel. And using these two models, for example, you can calculate the estimated credit loss, like how much loss an investment can cause to the bank. And ECL is calculated with three component, that is PED multiplied by LGD multiplied by EAD. Now each of them is a very big topic which I'm not going to cover today. Just try to understand. PD is probability of default, like what are the percentages a person will default. Let's say 25%. So PD can be like 25%, or it can be like 0.25, anything. Loss given default. What is LGD? So at a particular point, like after 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, or 8 months, the loss which the default will give to the bank, that will be loss given default. So it will be a number, let's say $100. The loan was, let's say, I'm assuming like $250, and somehow bank is able to get 150. Now the loss is 250. When the person starts bunking the EMI, or start not paying the EMI, they will not pay the EMI, this whole amount will become the LGD, loss given by the default. So that is EAD. Now EAD stands for exposure at default. That stands like how much total exposure is there at the default time. So this is a precise thing about them, and when you multiply these three, so you get the estimated credit loss, that how much the loss bank is going to make. Now to shield this ECL, okay, this ECL component, this is the most important component for bank. To maintain this, bank need to maintain some principal as backup, so that everything bank have, it should not be end up losing all the money. The money of the retail people like us should be saved. Now this is the model. So that's why I was talking about the model word. Now let's talk about the second word, governance. What is governance? Like, I belong to India, so who is governing 2025? Like BJP is governing, right? Similarly, in US, who is governing? Trump is governing, right? So the governing body is somebody who is taking care of that particular entity. Now, in the bank, the governing body can be, in India's context, what is the example of a governance? Like Reserve Bank of India is a governing body. For whom? This is a governing body for all the banks like SBI, PNB, or HDFC, or any Bank of India. They ultimately reports to the RBI only. They need to govern as per the rule of RBI. So now this is model and governance definition individually. Now let's move how the actual teams work, the team which is working on the model governance inside a bank, what is the thing they are doing, right? So let's say a governance team. Why I am writing this? So that I can define the structure also. This is your governance team. Now, the number one thing, most important thing, the place where you basically maintain your models. Okay, so once your model is built, all those predictions are coming through, where you will store those models. Storage is, in most of the company and the global bank, it's model inventory. It is known as model inventory. It can be anywhere depending on the banks. Like some of the bank do it on the shared drive, and then some of the bank do it on IBM solutions. There are some solutions given by IBM. Okay, like IBM Open Pages is one of the example. IBM Open Pages. So this is a sort of storage unit, and it is called model inventory, which is used by all the teams so that they can keep the track of the model inventory. So all the models are stored here. Now, every time there is a model run or anything, the operations which are getting performed on the model, so there is a model inventory report which is generating. Model inventory report. Now, what is this model inventory report? Obviously, again, everything about the model, like the model ID, what is a unique identifier of the model, name of the model, description, what are the issues in the model, everything which is contained in a single report is known as model inventory. So let me define this. What is model inventory? It is a report that contains information about major three things. Let me define that. Major three things. What are those three things? Number one is model metadata, like the data about model. What is the number of the model? What is the unique identifier in the model? Like what is the description of the model and model owner name? All those details are part of this particular area. Description. These are all column names, guys. Okay. This MO, description. MO stands for model operator, or you can call it model owner. So that's fine. This is description, again a column, then model ID, which is a unique identifier, or model name. So this is first type of data which you have in the report. Then second type of data is life cycle info. So all this part of model inventory report, life cycle info as in when the model was created, what is the life of the model, when it need to be like reevaluated, all those informations. Now the third one is the super important, that is the performance indicators. Performance indicators. Now this is where the main governance part come. How come? Because this have columns like accuracy of the model. This talks about the compliance score of the model. Then these are very important because ultimately when you are trying to govern a model, these are the main component which you want to check, because accuracy will tell you that how much the model is accurate on the results. Then the compliance score will tell you that how much the model is adhered to the compliance given by the federal body. So that's why this is very important. Again, third and most important one is risk category. Like with the particular model, how many type of risk are associated. Now this is bit complex, guys, so be careful. Okay, so this risk category is again divided into three types, like type 1 risk, then type 2 risk, then type 3 risk. Number 1 risk is like, number 1 category means those risks which you can avoid. Okay, you can like still the model can run, but you can avoid those. That is category 1, like the lowest priority. Then second one is again it's a medium I would say medium risk capacity. If this kind of risk are there in your model, you need to get it clarify with the teams, like the business teams. Then third type of category, that is the highest risk, so you cannot run the model without the again proper validation and the end-to-end monitoring. So these are the risk category. Now let me come to the workflow, like how actually the whole workflow works here, because that is the whole task of the model governance. Now how the work of model governance team is happening. So what is the source for model governance? Obviously if you are aspiring for model governance, so you want to understand what is the number 1 step. I'll tell you the whole step. So number 1 step is you will download the data from IBM Open Pages. What is IBM Open Pages? It is a solution given by IBM for the model inventory management, and this is a kind of a shared drive link which you as an individual and your team members or your manager, they can also access this. So that's how IBM Open Pages is a input for you for the model governance. Now in most of the companies, they are running Python codes. For this Python code, this IBM Open Page is like an input, and how you'll do that, you will use URL of the IBM Open Page and the key to join this with Python environment. So this is your step 1, your input. This is your step 2, which is your Python code, where you will give the URL and the key, and this will connect to the IBM Open Pages. Okay, now the output of this Python will go to, I would say, enterprise inventory, where you keep all the documents. Enterprise inventory management page. So you basically paste the output of your Python to a shared drive, which you call inventory management, where the governance team will pitch this. So this whole task is done by the model governance team, guys. This can be replaced, this Python can be done by SAS also in some of the banks. So this is very subjective. Some of the bank are running these codes and in Python, some of the banks are running these codes in SAS. Now the output of Python or SAS code will go to inventory management. Okay, now this is we can call output. So this is your step 3. Now this output is not the final step. This output, as I mentioned, this is the third step. Again, this output will be used where it will be used for checking the effectiveness, because ultimately this output is called the inventory report. Okay, when I was mentioning about the inventory report, this output is the inventory report. So this output will show you what are the things. This will have model count. So like it will be in a Excel format. Let's say in many of the bank it will be in Excel format. So many rows, so many columns will be there. Every row talks about a single model. Generally what I have seen in my experience. So every row in your Excel file will be talking about number of models. So basically number of rows equal to number of models. And how can so many model be there? You can ask, like, it can be like 2000 models also. Okay, in a single report it can be 2000 model as per the inventory. How that can how is that possible? Obviously that question can come to your mind. So let's say you have a product, let's say loan. So in the loan itself you want to calculate PD, LGD, EAD. So you will build 3 model. So this is just loan. So it can be like so many products bank have. Like, I'll not go in the detail, like student loans, then you have personal loan, then you have cards, so many type of cards. So that's how this model inventory report can have like 2000, 3000, 1000, any number of models which can be there. Now in this report, this was the third step, which is here, which I mentioned. Okay, now what will be the fourth step? Fourth step is to check the effectiveness of the model, effectiveness and risk rating assessment. So this is your step number 4. What does this mean? You will check each and every component of your model output, and you need to make sure that all the columns which are given there inside the inventory management report, they all are validated by you effectively. So this is the step 4. Validation and accuracy check. You can call it risk rating check, anything. Okay, now the next step, the 5th step is coloring. What do you mean by coloring? So depending on the issue, you will color the model either green or yellow or red. So this is known as traffic lights. As I mentioned about the category of the risk, if you go up, let me take you up. So based on the risk category, the traffic light is defined. So that is known as coloring in the governance language or governance lingo, right? Now, this coloring depends on so many factors, like number of issues in a single model and type of issues, more importantly. So those things are very subjective. Now this was the step 5. Now let's move on to step 6 in the governance framework. Now usually you will do visualization after checking everything. Visualization you will do with the help of 2 software, either Power BI or Tableau. You will take this model inventory report as an input and you will do the visualization using, let's say, Power BI or Tableau. You will make the graph, okay, and you will write commentary. This is your step number 7. What do you mean by commentary? You will define what are the issues in the model, what are the things you have noticed, and this all information after the commentary you will publish online. Like if you are using Power BI, so you will use the Power BI online to publish this, so that the output can be sent basically to model development and model validation, because those are the 2 teams you will be usually working with. So as a model governance person, what you need to do is all these tasks. I hope this makes sense to you guys, and on that note I will wrap up today's video. And the more bullet point, or I would say the more focused area for today, you should keep a track of understanding what is a model, why we are doing governance. I explained that. What is model inventory? Understand that where you keeping all the models, that is known as your model inventory. And IBM Open Pages is a widely used governance tool for model inventory. Now, model inventory report have three components like model, metadata, then life cycle information, then performance indicator. Those are the most important one, like accuracy, compliance score, risk category. So now risk category divided into three parts: lowest to highest, then medium. What is lowest? Which you can ignore, you can let the model run. Second, you need to discuss with the team and then model can run. Third category is model cannot run. Now this screen which is currently on your window, most important screen, this is how the whole workflow works. I explain it to you. Let me just quickly recap it. IBM Open Pages as a input, using the URL and key in Python, pandas, you can import the input, then it will create the inventory report that is acting as output, step 3. Then you will check the effectiveness and risk rating, and every company, every bank have their own criteria, so you need to make sure that this is fitting that criteria. On the basis of that, you will do the coloring: green, yellow, red. Similar like traffic lights, when it's green you can go ahead, if yellow you need to think, wait, red you cannot move forward. Simple. Now visualization you will do using Power BI. You will write the commentary so the model developer and model validation team can understand what are the things you want to highlight. You will do a meeting with them and you will make them understand what are your findings, and before that you are publishing the report. So that's how the whole model governance perspective works. I hope this video you like. I hope you guys like this video, and this is kind of banking related videos. I hope you will be loving this if you want to move into model governance team. And I try to put all my experience which I have gained over a period of time working for multiple MNC banks for US and Australia and Europe. On that note, I would like to request you guys, if you are very first time on my channel, so please subscribe to my channel. If you like this content, please hit the like button and please share your comment in the comment section so that I can improve. I read all the comments and I reply to all the comments. Still, if you have any question, please comment it. I will reply to that also. On that note, thank you everybody. We'll see you in the next video. Thank you.